Hi. Hi. It's Ann. So I'm coming at y'all recording, okay? The doll, both audioly and visually, okay? Because some girls like to experience podcasts visually, so I'm going to give you what you want. So I already started this once, messed up the sound and everything. I don't even need these earbuds because it's not plugged into anything. So today's episode is going to be called tabs, okay? Because I was thinking about, I have all these tabs like a lot of people. And I just turned in my old work computer. I'm now gainfully unemployed. So, yeah, there's that. So I wanted to write down about my tabs and just get back into this. I'm going to try and do it more regularly, like a citizen of the United States. But yeah, so this episode is called tabs, baby. It's called tabs. And let's talk about tabs. Let's talk about tabs, baby. Let's talk about you and me. But it's just my brain and my MacBook and that stuff. Anyway, so I had to turn that in. So I was just taking everything off of there and looking at my tabs. And I was like, this might be interesting. So I say, what's going on? And yes, I'm wearing makeup. If anyone's interested, I'll put all the stuff that I'm wearing down in the description below. So what's going on? Okay, y'all, I'm unemployment. Get into the unemployment. Also, if you see me looking this way, it's because I have a script. I wrote out a script. Why? Because I'm filling my time. It's very weird, but I got tasks. And I can serialize anything. I can make anything into a to-do list. And girl, next thing you know, we got stuff we need to do. Okay? So I wrote down a script. I wrote down all my tabs. Then I wrote a script based on those tabs. So this is not all the tabs. It's just the things I thought were interesting. And then, I just want to discuss like what's happening in ye old noggin up here. Then after I write my little list and then I do this, then I wrote my little script and I read it and now I have to record it. But something was holding me back from recording, which is that I gave I gave my old computer back to my old job. And then I was like, oh, I lost the other power cord to my computer. So then I had to order one, boopity boop. Anyways, so see how I serialized just making this podcast? Also, I'm a real human that sweats. And I did put on like the finishing spray and blah, blah, blah. But your girl's still gonna sweat. So I serialized those steps and, therefore I've spun my brain out and away from my anxiety, shame, loneliness and stuff. And therefore I won life, you guys. I won it. Okay. Through procrastination and cereal. Does anybody want some sugary cereal right now? Because I sure do. And then just doing the work, I'm just out here doing the work, y'all. And if you are thinking, and you're talking weird, it's because I got Invisalign. Okay, so I have little clear plastic things on my teeth. I don't have the Invisaligns in. You're supposed to wear them 20 to 24 hours a day, which I'm desperately trying to do because I'm not trying to waste 6,000 doll hairs. And it's because of this one rogue tooth that I have also chipped because it has changed my entire bite. And I've also been biting my upper lip because of it. It's weird. So I was like, I got to get this one tooth fixed. So that's what it costs, $6,000 right now. Anywho, and most of these insurance companies are trashed because they don't cover adult orthodontia. Which I've heard that it's actually better to fix your teeth when you're an adult. One, because you understand the ramifications. And two, you're just more likely to just do it well. Now, it's probably easier to fix them when you're a kid because you're growing and thising and thatting, but there's more chance of it going back. And kids are not compliant like myself, which is why that one tooth is out there. And that tooth, I have already chipped it. And then I was like, oh, let's fix it. They was like, girl, you just gonna chip it again because of how your bite is now. And I was like, ugh. I have succumbed to the adult dentist industry, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's not as hard as when I had braces as a kid, and for that, I'm thankful. Anyhow, so what am I doing? You know, I'm just out here trying to push down these here emotions, y'all, with food. It's not working. It's really not working. I'm not well. However, I've been doing that since I was a child, and that's like another thing I want to talk about, just like, you know, my unemployment brain, a lot of my childhood trauma is just like coming back to the fore. It said, girl, we're not staying in the unconscious mind. Absolutely not. You can't keep us contained. So my little childhood trauma is just up here dancing with my conscious mind, and it's driving me insane. So I have to, so I'm just trying to like do things and keep myself busy, blah, blah, blah. And you know, my trauma is out here trying to mingle with my grocery list, and I'm like, no, girl, I ain't even trying to do that. Now, as I've told many of my students in the past, and I'm open about it, I've been in therapy for almost 20 years, y'all. It's wow. Yeah, off and on for 20 years. And the majority on. Okay? So there's that. So let me go back to these tabs, okay? Let me go back to the tabs. So who I'm most mad at is Elon Musk, okay, right now, because he's taken away my favorite social media, which is Twitter. And I really like reading. I'm bookish. I'm a nerd. When I first learned to read, I had a little bit of trouble, but then once I got it, girl, popping. And I've recently learned that I have ADHD, and I definitely think that somehow I've trained my brain to think that like letters are dancing in front of me and then they provoke feelings, and so I'm very stimulated by reading. So I really like reading. So when Twitter came along, I really enjoyed it, and I was a part of the people that were originally on the platform before it was profitable, before there was a lot of people, you know, all that. My first account, I deleted after 2 years and started another one. Or maybe it was after like 4 years. Because I think I started my new one in like 2011, which is weird to say new, and that's 12 years ago. But I just recently deleted it because Elon Musk is talking about charging everyone, and he wants to start, or he has started his own chat bot, AI intelligence thing that he wants to use to crawl. He wants it to crawl on the Twitters and take our human language. And as a Black person, okay, who definitely uses AAVE, African American Vernacular English, I said absolutely no. I said no, ma'am. He will not have my AAVE. Okay, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. No. Absolutely not. Now, it was one thing when he was posturing and dissing and datting and the blue checks, and you know, that didn't really affect me that much. But now he talking about wholesale theft. Like, just because I use this product does not mean that I want you all to have my language. Also, I mean, I already know AAVE cannot be stolen. It can be imitated, but like Black culture, particularly Black culture in the U.S., it's always changing and moving. Like, it's hard to even get on top of it as a damn Black person. Okay, so I'm not scared about that. But, you know, and that leads me to one tab, y'all. This is all that's in my brain from one tab, which is that Elon Musk, when he decided to change the name to X, he stole the person who had X as their handle. He just took it from them. No warning, no regard, no money. And that's the other thing. He's been trying to encourage people to buy subscriptions so that they can engage with profit sharing on there. Now, I never had enough followers to do any of that, and I'm not interested in that at this time. Okay, things could change. You know, I'm a human. Also, I needed to hit her with a little dab. So, And that just illustrates to me the kind of person he is and the ways that he does his business dealings. It's just trash. Like, absolutely not. How dare you? How dare you? So that person just lost that thing. And I did not say this originally. Katya did on Trixie and Katya, the Bald and the Beautiful, where she said, why did he change it to X? And now it seems like a low budget porn site. And it's like, yeah, that's what Twitter is right now. Also, obviously, I'm near a window. So I'm just living my life, broadcasting from my apartment. Most of these plants are real. Behind me. So yeah, my partner has a green thumb. It's getting out of hand. And this plant a friend bought us, and it was already big when we got it, and now it's bigger. Okay, it's giving Audrey free me vibes. Okay, so there's that. Alrighty, so there's that. I'm mad at Elon Musk. I'm sorry that he took away my favorite microblogging site. Yes, I am a member of Mastodon, and I am a member of Spoutable. I like Spoutable. It's all liberals, girl, but it just really, I need fast news. That's why I stayed on Twitter. I also stayed on there because when an emergency happens, you can really talk to people and know what is going on, not just here, but all around the world and all that. For someone to just take that little foundation that we built in 10 years, and by we, I mean the people on Twitter that we built together, and just to take it and continually ruin it, I wish he would not have bought it at all. Yeah. I mean, I don't like Jack, but this is horrible. And I don't have huge things against Jack, but I do think that he was a part of that kind of hipster movement that enabled, where we are right now with, Lord, with white supremacy. Okay. And it's a mess. It's a mess out here. And the people that created the mess seem to be the least able to take responsibility for it while they continue to cause harm. It is a mess. Okay. So there's that. Anyhow, another tab, you all. Now I'm going to another white man space. And I will say, I have a student who's writing a paper about like Black Twitter and making community, as a marginalized person online. And it's like, it is so complicated, and it is hard for us to leave those networks because, like, for me, I live in a white neighborhood. And, being connected with my people and seeing how other people are processing things, it's important to me because it's not like I can go out here and just tap another Black person and be like, hey girl, what you think about that stuff in Montgomery? Like, it's just, that's not happening up here. So anyways, but I do need to move, and that's a different story. That's a different episode. So I went to this other white man space. I was so scared, y'all, which is Reddit. Okay. I had never really gone there because I just thought of it as like a place for incels. I was like, I don't need it. No, thank you. No. And it definitely was. And then, we got 4chan and 8chan, and they took all their mess over there. Now, I really don't understand what Reddit was doing in the beginning, but now it has spawned enough where there are communities, not that many. Ooh. Oh, you guys sneeze like how Obama taught you. There are communities around certain conditions, and y'all know I have a lot of them. But one condition where I wanted to find like more community was around IBS, and so I went to Reddit that was active because there are some other IBS kinds of organizations. Some are literally set up by the pharmaceutical company. No, I'm not about to go on there and talk about myself with the pharmacy watching, with the pharmaceutical companies that want to sell me things. And then also there were others, but it was just dry. Nobody was talking. Nobody was nothing. And so I went to Reddit, which of course means I had to set up an account and blah, blah, blah. I'm following a couple other things on Reddit. I've gotten to an Invisalign group. Weird, because I was having some weird stuff going on. But all solved, all of it normal for Invisalign. Basically just like my teeth was bleeding. And I was like, this is a lot of pain. Is this regular? And they were like, yeah, it is, Ed. Yeah, it is. So there's that. But it has been nice to find that community, and I've talked about it before on here, but there are a lot of people that say IBS is a fake diagnosis, it's nothing, it's this, it's that. Well, girl, my stomach begs to differ. When it's over here spasming and acting a damn fool and I'm pooping out my whole damn colon, yeah, it's real. Now, do we need more research? Yes. Do we need more specificity? Yes. But to have people constantly tell you that it's not real and it's just all in your head, the gaslighting is intense. And then the fact that so many GI docs just literally don't do anything about it or for it. And then some of them even refuse to prescribe the few drugs that exist for these conditions. It's very weird. Part of it is that for IBS-D specifically, which is what I have, the drugs are narcotics. They are cousins of opioids, I believe. And so I don't really know a ton about them, but I know that my drug, Viberzi, is a class 4 drug, meaning that whenever I need to refill the prescription, I have to go to the doctor, get a piece of paper with his signature on it, and then take it to them because they're afraid. And it's also formulated so it's slow release, so there's really no chance of you becoming addicted to it, but it sure does make it inconvenient. So anyways, yeah, it's like weird. Okay, I like Reddit. I want to go back to Reddit and then I'll come to the drugs and the management of IBS, but yeah, we have to do something. And I was thinking about this particularly around the Sudafed, now that we all know, even though a friend of mine told me over a decade ago, like the fake the phenylphenoline, the one that's supposed to be like it's the non-pseudoephedrine drug, that it just fully does not work. So I usually don't buy it. And so I'm one of those people that almost every month I have to like go to the pharmacy, give them my ID. You get your damn Sudafed, the real stuff, the pseudoephedrine, and they only give you 20 pills. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. However, I wish they would give you 30, because girl, you can be congested every day. Okay. As you can see, I've already sneezed twice. I'm in fall allergy season. I have a little more picture of like what I'm allergic to, but because of climate change, allergy season is longer. Yay. And of course, one of my main allergens, ragweed. The girl is everywhere out here in Chicago. Don't like her. I don't mess with her. We don't fight. We don't argue. You know what I mean? You can fill in the rest. Don't like her. But I'm also allergic to trees in general. Okay. And just weeds. It's like so sad. So it's just annoying. Also, I'm supposed to go to an endocrinologist. I got a referral, and this particular endocrinologist, I needed to change my appointment. And because, I left my other job, and then my partner had to do the paperwork to put me on her insurance, or we switched to her job's insurance. So I wasn't going to have insurance for 2 weeks. This appointment wound up being in those 2 weeks. So they called me to confirm the appointment, which was like 5 days early, before the appointment. So I told them, I will not be able to make it. I need to reschedule. And this was my first appointment with this man. And it was a male doctor. So I'm going to say this man. Girl, they told me he does not allow rescheduling. Period. She said, I'll go and talk with him, but he usually sends people off, blah, blah, blah. He's the only endocrinologist at this particular place, which is where all my other doctors are. I can go to a different endocrinologist, and I will. But I do plan on lighting him up on the Google reviews and everything, because it's like a person that needs an endocrinologist, their doctor has already said, like, you got some symptoms I don't really understand. When I got this appointment, when I scheduled it, it was back in July. And the appointment was supposed to be this past Monday. So yeah, I think this is another barrier to care. For me, it's not anything like, oh, like I'm passing out or having heart attacks or something weird like that. But it's like, it could be that. It definitely could be that. He would not know because he does not allow rescheduling. And I understand that, doctors are under their own pressures, particularly from, these insurance groups and the HMOs and blah, 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 whatever. But it's just like, sir, you are denying people coverage before they even see you. These are the problems with the American healthcare system. And so anyways, the good thing is I live in a city with 6 hospital systems, 2 of which are world class. And, I have PPO insurance, so I can just call and go wherever else. But, that's more time, that's more whatever, that's more discomforting symptoms that I have to live with. And that's annoying to me. So I will be putting a review out there on that man. And I'll be letting my doctor know, the one who referred me specifically to him, that this is his policy and it's problematic. Which will probably do absolutely nothing because he's an endocrinologist in the city of Chicago. There's plenty of people that need his help. But it just, again, illustrates, and I could have gone into a whole story telling the receptionist, well, I left my job and then I'm getting this insurance and I'm not going to have insurance for 2 weeks and blah, blah, blah. And maybe he would have allowed me, but it's like, I should not have to tell my life story to change an appointment, and I'm willing to wait. You know what I mean? Because I had to change another appointment because of this same issue, because I had 2 appointments in the early part of September. And yes, my next appointment with this person is not going to be until January, and that's fine. But because I understand, but to just refuse to, ridiculous. Weigh in if you want. Get in there. But anyhow, so another tab. Now moving on to a different tab. Oh, but about IBS and management. I feel like I'm doing okay. I think also not working has helped me because I'm not like on that kind of stress schedule with my job. But it doesn't mean that my IBS is gone. Definitely not. I just took a medication that has which a lot of medications do. This is the problem with having IBS day. Okay. Which is that most of these drugs, a lot of drugs have the symptoms of nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. That's the old Pepto-Bismol commercial, y'all. Anyway, so, it's not, and then one of my doctors said to me, she was like, your bowels are irritable. That's not a choice. And I said, okay, girl, you're right. And it's like, I have to just remember that. Like when I'm eating things, whether it's a known trigger or not, if I am stressed, sometimes I know I'm stressed, like palpably, but other times I don't. And it's just going on in the stomach. And it's just like, yeah, my bowels are irritable. That's what it is. Okay. And more so, I'm working with and on that already, but I'm more interested in checking out some other symptoms that I'm not going to go into right now because I don't have any good answers. So I don't want anybody to be scared or weird, but there's that. Another tab. I had like 3 tabs open on this. I'm trying to figure out this Colleen Ballinger stuff. First of all, I really had missed her whole point in YouTube. And then I did watch her whatever weird show, Haters Back Off, on Netflix. Me and my partner watched 2 episodes. And when we had watched it, we was like, this girl is annoying. This is annoying. And I watched it because a woman leading a show. Oh, she's supposed to be funny. She's doing characters. I thought it was going to be like Strangers with Candy. It was trying to be, but it was just annoying, so I didn't watch it. So I don't really know a lot about her, and it's like weird. I have a weird spotty, like I was there in the beginning with Chris Crocker and all that stuff, and Love B. Scott and those kind of things. And of course I still check on T.S. Madison. I watch B. Love, B. Love's Life. I watch Darius. Come on, hey Darius, just for the girls. Okay, just for the girls. This ain't for all of y'all. This just for the girls. Okay. So, I check in on certain people. I started out in the black hair space, the natural hair community. Then I kind of floated over to makeup, which is how I can do this. And then I recently was watching gay shows, and then I got into the mukbangs too. And it's a weird, interesting conglomerate of people. But I also am watching these drama channels, which now are becoming their own drama. So one of the people that I follow, Adam McIntyre, very cute little boy, and he talks about the divas that I'm interested in, Trisha Paytas, okay? And, all the divas that are out there doing things. And he does YouTube commentary and all that. I didn't know he had this whole history with Colleen Ballinger. So, I've been watching those videos, and yeah, Colleen, you were totally inappropriate. A 30-something-year-old woman should not be calling a 13-year-old to talk about their divorce and sex life. Nor should you be mailing them lingerie made for adults, okay? Anyhow, how I got into Adam, I was watching some other drama person, and of course, because he does Trisha Paytas videos, and the reason why I followed him is because he has an Irish accent, okay? I love a brogue. I love old nasty Welsh community situation. So, the Scottish, the Irish, Welsh in general, I'm there. I love that accent. And then it was like gossipy, so I was like, yay! So, I was like, oh my God, now he's the subject of drama. And then this is the other thing. You have to watch out for this. Like, as an adult, you want to be generous in your critique of anything. You want to be looking at multiple sides, and you want to be as generous as possible when you can. Why? Why, might you ask? Why? Because as those old sayings go, the people that you step over on the ladder up be the same people you're going to see on the way down, okay? And it's kind of like a Scorpio, right? Like, if you try to sting somebody else too hard, you can go too hard, and now you done stung yourself, okay? So, Adam is in this very weird situation where he literally for a year has been critiquing Trisha Paytas because Trisha doing her regular stuff, which is problematic, okay? I can't even say why I like her. I just think she has it, and she often uses it for something problematic. And she definitely has some mental health challenges that she's at varying levels of accepting. So, I was just watching that. And the reason why I'm saying all of this is because he spent a year critiquing her. He started watching the Frenemies podcast with Ethan and Gila. And then Trisha came on board. And then he started watching because of Trisha. And then from that show, he wound up leaving as an Ethan fan and not being a fan of Trisha and critiquing her. But in my opinion, he was always fair. He always had his receipts, which is, him watching and showing his clips of like what he thought Trisha was doing that was problematic. This became a huge family drama, which really has torn Gila and Moses' family apart. And there are children involved now, not involved in the conflict, but children conceived during this time, and it's a mess. But anyhow, so Adam was talking about his time with Colleen Ballinger. That made other people critique him, not understanding, and I don't know, because I ain't that deep on these YouTube girls, especially the millennial age ones. So, or just younger, JoJo Siwa, whatever she is. So JoJo Siwa went on a podcast and was trashing Adam, saying she doesn't believe him and that it was not inappropriate and that she was friends with Colleen at that time too, and it was fine. And it's like, girl, y'all both was being abused by this lady. Okay, a 30-year-old talking to a 13-year-old about their, and then I guess there were some group chats, but it's a lot. I can't know everything because I can't listen to all these videos. But what I can say is that Colleen sounds like bad news. And I will say this is where we have to have our complexity around feminism. Like, I just watched the show because I was like, oh, it's a lady lead doing comedy and let me support, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this was not the comedy for me. Then we find out she was a monster to other people, queer and straight alike. But it seems like, you know, a lot of queer youth, which is a whole nother thing, just deeply exploitative. Now, Adam has built up his whole community. He has his own YouTube life without mentioning Colleen Ballinger. Now, I don't know the full history on that, but I guess I'll find out in the next coming weeks. But the other thing, though, is that Trisha went on another podcast and defended Adam McIntyre against JoJo Siwa. And I said, go, Trisha, go. Use your platform, girl. Use your platform for good. I would have said Trisha growing up. She maturing. She is maturing. And she's always like, oh, you know, Adam doesn't like me, but I do want to say this. And then they had some conflict over that. But it was like very, like, they were able to come together and figure out the right verbiage. And the whole Ethan and H3, I don't watch him, but I will say that one person I identified with in the whole conflict was Gila. I was like, Gila. It's just so much. And it's like your partner, your parents, your brother. It's a lot. And I'm going to guess, I do not know, that this conflict that now the partners are involved in, so Ethan and Trisha, it probably has a deeper root in their family. This is probably not new. This is, it's almost Oedipal. It's at that level. And sometimes we have to realize and recognize that families need to splinter sometimes. Sometimes when you are healing, there are ways that you want to understand yourself that your family just cannot take. It will destroy their idea of themselves for them to admit that you, as a person, that your experiences happened. And that's like tough. That's like really tough to, you know, yeah. And sometimes I know it's hard for like young people to understand this. Sometimes it is better to like go your separate ways, even with family. Girl, even with family. Okay, so there's that. So I'm just happy that Trisha is like getting more mature. I'm very happy for Adam. That he is being believed, not that he went through this, and that as a young person, he is standing up for himself and his boundaries in a way that is so mature. I think that should be recognized. And then Colleen came out with some weird song, and now she's just trying to play it like, I was immature too. It's like, no, girl, you was 25. You could rent a car. You was an adult. You paid rent. You were signing contracts. Like, no, it doesn't mean that you were trained on how to interact with young people, but you had the tools to hire people that could have helped you with that. And someone that could have talked with you about like what are proper boundaries, you know, in this situation where you're obviously more powerful, meaning you had more followers, okay? And you had these kids build your brand. Okay, that's the thing. Woo! So again, the lesson that I came out from this, and I know I'm myopic because I'm not talking about every single thing Trisha has done, and there have been some terrible ones, but is that when you critique people, you want to be generous in that critique. You want to give them all the benefits of the doubt, particularly when you're speaking about it publicly, because it may come back to bite you, okay? So there's that. And also that person might be the one person in your corner, okay? So again, I just think like in life and in a lot of things, we have to have grace. It can be so hard, and it's even hard for me because there are some things where I'm like, absolutely not. I ain't giving you grace on shit. But no, I don't want to be like that. And then, I was thinking about what are my next career moves for Anne. So as a lady friend, I'm just out here, you know, living my life and thinking about where do I fit in society? You know, I tried to be a university professor. not doing that anymore. And I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And then I thought, okay, what makes me happy? Of course, I love teaching. Come on, y'all. It's in me. So I think I'm actually going to apply to be a substitute teacher in Chicago public schools. Watch out, high schoolers. I'm coming for you. No, not coming for you, but I might show up in a classroom near you. I have to send them some transcripts, which will be awkward, but I'm still going to do it. So we'll see. And then I do want money coming in because, I also don't want to have my partner out here stressed out. Okay. Stressed it out. But, yeah, so I want to do something that where I am using the skills that I paid a lot of money to have. So I'm going to do that. I'm also thinking about retraining as a human being and starting a new career. So I don't know. I'm thinking I might, finish my little prereqs or retake them. I don't know. And maybe be a nurse. Ooh, that'll be fun times. Not that being a nurse is fun. I mean, it looks like a career I could do. And I care for people. I like caring for people. I don't want to go to school for a really long time. So, yeah. And I'm having a new perspective. I'm just becoming more jaded as I get older. And while I love having this skill and all that, I think that being in education in America at this time is really, really hard. I can't do it. So, yeah, I'm going to do some subbing, I think. So take it with a big, big old grain of salt. But also, let's have some homework. You know what I mean? Homework, because I'm a teacher. One thing that I want people to read, and I'm going to discuss next time, is My Body is a Clock. And I'll put a link down in the show notes. Ooh, go in. It's a New York Times article. I believe it's free because, when they do op-eds that are really popular, they'll take down the little paywall, child. But also, if you cannot reach it via the New York Times, get a library card, okay? I know that's not easy for everybody. But for those that can, join your public library. And then you can go through their portal and read everything you want. It might not always look as glossy or whatever, but it's still, the information is still available. And for me, information is power sometimes. Sometimes it's not. So there's that. Also, I think next time I'm going to also talk about reproductive health. There are some issues happening locally in Chicago that I think, there has been some attention brought to them on NPR, but I'm going to talk about it from my perspective too. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about Black maternal mortality. So those are the things that I'm going to talk about next time. And then I'm going to try and find where do I fit in this big, wonderful world? Yeah, so until next time, your girl Ann is here for you. It's Ann. So tell a friend, tell a dog, tell a cat, tell folks to listen to this here podcast. They want to hear just, random nasty piece of Black feminist ranting about things in the world, child. So that's where we're at. And with that, I'm out. I'm just wondering about complexity. Woo! I done. Yeah, but I don't want to. I want to get it going so that you know I'm part of it. I don't know. Just doing stuff. doop a doop doop doop. Anyways, doing my little full body yoga. That was nice yesterday. Yeah.